Hello and welcome back. We are here playing France in the 1.5 open beta in Victoria 3. Last episode was a bit of a chaotic episode. A lot happened. We started with taking dirt from Belgium, and then we ended the episode with taking dirt from Belgium. In the interim, we passed several laws, had a decent come up. We're doing pretty good in terms of like the law situation right now, especially because we are passing multiculturalism and, Qing is in the market. So this episode is probably largely going to be about popping off from getting a whole bunch of pops, really exploding on that front, and then, being able to pop off in that regard. In addition to getting, some good dirt and trying to conclude the natural borders of France and maybe try and do Algerian departments, because then we will accept everyone and then we'll full annex all these boyos. And so we should be doing, both several journal entries from France as well as getting multiculturalism, which is just extraordinarily strong. And so, let's get into it, unpause, and be off on our way. We did quite a lot in the interim in terms of building out the queue and, getting stuff ready. Nice. They want to join the customs union. This is one of the things we did in the interim, is we added a whole bunch of, trade routes in various places, which is probably why they wanted to join. We're really trying to lean on getting both the Sikh Empire and also New Africa into the customs union. That way we can siphon off pops from them, as we pass into multiculturalism. No one's come to Belgium's defense, so we're really just going to clap them quite easily. And then we get a Han voice. Now, we probably say this guy. So this guy is required, and he's already helping us pass the law, and we need him to pass the law. And so we will say, hey, he can stay in charge. We'll get the extra enactment chance. But we get Mao West, or Mao Wei, as it were. Mao Wei is, a trade unionist, but he was a pacifist. So if we put him in charge, we would have bricked our law pass right there. And so it's a good thing we didn't. But yeah, multiculturalism, not that big an opposition. We should be passing it, and we should be clapping Belgium here. And Mao Wei promptly retires and settles down, so more than happy to do that. We also did spike the socialist event chain. Probably should have recorded us getting it, but it did allow us to get regulatory bodies for free, so we're going to be picking that up. The regulatory bodies and education and also health system all seem way more important now in this patch than in previous patches, and so we will be continuing on in that way and trying to expand these institutions. So let's take a quick look. And by quick look, I mean seeing, do we have shift work? We don't. Okay. And the reason is because we are going to build up to economies of scale, some of these, but we wanted to see what the EOS was. Not in Rhone, though. In Normandy, though, we are going to 31 this, and then we'll 31 in Brittany, where we do have a lot of labor as well. And this will help to, get us on up as it relates to the admin, so we can expand the institutions. Again, very quick, the clapping is happening. The clapping is happening. So we annex Belgium, and we do have currently a relatively high amount of infamy, and so I think what we're going to do is, rather than going for, Rhineland and North Rhine straight away, which we do want to kind of in the near future, we're going to go for a little bit like lower infamy plays, like, for example, return Bavarian Rhineland, which we need to do, and also, these plays for going after these, like, little states over here, bring them into the fold, annex these guys, and generate a smaller amount of infamy. We're also going to be joined in this play in exchange for a subject, this will also be relatively inexpensive from our perspective in order to get these guys, annexed down here. And of course, we'll have the North Africans fight the North Africans. And we get it, the best law in the game, multiculturalism. So now, the migration should flood in, and also we hit Open Colossus event chain, which requires us, to fully liberalize and then also get multiculturalism, and we can permanently get 25% migration attraction. So let's take a look at Rhone here, right? Before, Rhone was pulling in 10k migrants with like kind of what we had, and their attraction did not yet have teeming shore. Now, if we let this tick, and of course we have that going, but we'll probably just, say, smell you later. You smell like funny shoes to them, and we were getting 10k, and now if we let it tick over, now we're getting 21k, and this is going to be happening everywhere, which we're going to be siphoning off migrants, specifically Chinese migrants because they're in a customs union. And so this is going to be a huge, huge boon to us, and our population's really going to go very, very vertical following this, you know, in a much more vertical trajectory. I think if we are going to go over 25 infamy, we are going to just give them an obligation and invite them to the customs union, because this is one of the most populous places that you can get other than Chinese states, and so getting them into the customs union is also always good. But for now, we will be, you know, working our way through all of these Algerians up here, up top. Okay, this is more like it. We gave it a couple ticks, and now we're getting 70,000 migrants, not just doubled from 10K, and they're coming in all over the place. And so, you know, everywhere, basically, we are going to be getting these Han pops, which is going to just allow all of these places to employ up. They're just flooding in, and they will also get converted to French. To that end, to the extent that it's going to be useful, we have been bolstering the petite bourgeoisie for a little while now, because we would like to get their bonuses, and they seem particularly good for France, you know, loan interest rate, and also, you know, this increased loyalists from standard of living increases. These bonuses are pretty nice. And I think they will be easier to get in because of the way that migration is working, where it's kind of funny because they're like the xenophobic group, right? Generally speaking. But, you know, we can convert pops that are not in homeland states. So we can convert these Han pops that we are siphoning off here. You can see they're already starting to be a large proportion of, you know, what's going on here. Well, not there, but in some of these places, like they're already, oh no, that's Franco-Provincial. There's the Han pops coming on up right there. But we will be able to convert all these Han pops and stuff to French pops. There's also like a French company that is a little bit interesting that gives 5% assimilation. It's probably not worth us slotting in, but it's certainly intriguing. I think we would prefer the railway throughput we're getting on the company we're using. But where is this company? Where is Air Company? The French company, the Frenchest of companies. All right, down here, the Dulfos, Mieg et Si, which gives 5% assimilation. Now, overall, I don't think this is, like, moving the needle, especially, like, we have public schools. You know, this is giving 50% assimilation. I don't think that this moves the needle enough as a bonus. But if it was, like, significantly higher as a bonus, we would maybe want to do that just for the purpose of, you know, trying to demarginalize our petite bourgeoisie. Actually, can we change the ownership of, I don't think we're on ironclads and stuff yet, so I think we can just switch these over to merchant guilds, right? And then with these under merchant guild ownership, I think this might demarginalize these boyos. Let's take a look at them and take a look at their clout. Lovingly stare into the clout. I think this is like about when we started bolstering them, and now we just kind of swapped some stuff over, so it'll probably take a couple weeks for their ownership to really make a big difference. We could also try to export both oil and fish. If we export fish, then it will raise the price, which will in turn raise these guys' profitability. It looks like we can't really export fish very well. I guess we'll take a couple of exports. Once they come up, then they will start, you know, being incorporated into our parties and get votes and this sort of thing, and their clout will be much safer. But until then, we will be continuing to bolster them, trying to get them up. So while going for Bavaria, something kind of annoying happened here, which is Prussia sides with Bavaria. And this is annoying because while we want to take the states off of Prussia, what's going to happen if we return state both of these is likely they're just going to back down. And then we will accrue kind of a lot of infamy for nothing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put in war reps on Prussia, but we are just going to hope that Bavaria just backs down here and just mobilize a whole bunch of armies, put them on the fronts, and, you know, kind of prepare ourselves for a bit of a fight that might happen with Prussia. But we are hoping that we don't have to fight Prussia, because then we're going to have to wait 5 years before we can, you know, get anything done in regards to, you know, finishing up this journal entry. Also, you know, didn't read this that carefully with the Algerian departments, and it does require that the place be incorporated, and so owned and incorporated and below a certain percentage. So we kind of put Algeria on the back burner, but we are incorporating them at the very least now. Also, let's make sure we are increasing institutions a little bit. I think that we will up Social Security, mainly because, you know, we're on universal suffrage, if I recall correctly, and we do not want the clout of the Industrialists to slip below 20%, and so we might have to go back to census suffrage or wealth voting, but we are going to try and keep them on this kind of trajectory where they're above 20%, and we are trying to get them happy. To the extent that we can make them happy, we do want to put them in government, but currently there's not a legitimate way to do that because of, you know, our current setup and the fact that almost all of our votes are between the trade unionists and the rural folk who are united here. Bavaria does back down, and so we're pretty infamous here. We're just going to let our infamy cool down for a little bit, and then we will be going after Prussia. So our petite bourgeoisie has not demarginalized yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to invite this very popular gentleman who will hopefully help to demarginalize the petite bourgeoisie, and it's timely because we currently have an education. We see we're up to 4.9. We're still bolstering. We're still trying to get it in here. Let's lower the taxes. Actually, let's raise taxes a smidge, which will attack the clout of the people in government a little bit slightly. And we are trying to get them to demarginalize before this election pops off. Rubber rush, big nice. We might have to go, oh no, it came down to 0.1. Okay, it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up. Oh, it's down. It's up. It's up. No, it's just down. Damn. Unfortunate. We hope that their clout comes up before the end of the election so they can get some of the votes. Actually, it might just be the start of the election as the cutoff period, in which case, bully to them, but hopefully we can get there on them. Alright, so we don't manage to get the petite bourgeoisie up for the election, which is a bit unfortunate, but the industrialists now have their bonus cranking, so this is big nice, especially because we don't really have good ways to pass laws with them, and we can't really reform the government too easily to anything other than rural folk plus trade unions, which is a bit of a problem. I think we would have preferred to be on census suffrage here, and now that's going to be a little bit difficult. It will make people upset. Maybe we can get a movement to go census suffrage, something like this. But unless it somehow makes itself easy to go census suffrage, we're in a little bit of a pickle. We do want to maintain these guys being big, though, so I think in order to avoid Prussia just backing down, or us having to spend extra infamy for making stuff primary, we are just going to do return Rhineland here and try and get just the Rhineland in. It looks like they do have a little bit of a side. I mean, if they just look worried, maybe we go for both, because worried, I don't think that they will. They're very unlikely to back down if they're just worried, and we won't fully mobilize everything. We have a few in reserves, but I think we will just not put any war goals in on Russia. If Russia's joining against us, we could sway countries to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, though, but we don't necessarily. No, we actually can't sway countries. They all want return or transfer state. Were they swayed in with anything? Let's see. Call ally, and Russia's just vibing. So we will, I suppose, return the other state, North Rhine, which may attract a little bit more attention, with Württemberg now coming in. But overall, this should be okay with us. Spain's coming in too. Alright, well, we'll send the North African army to deal with Spain. We don't want to put any war goals in on Spain or Russia, because they will really not commit anywhere near as many troops if there aren't any war goals, and so this is to our benefit, but we're just going to make sure that, stuff doesn't get too crazy. I suppose we could just side on Austria's side here, just so that they're more likely to be friendly with us, but I think that this is probably our war. Actually, let's offer support. Obligation. Yep, let's ask for an obligation. And then maybe call in the obligation over here. Because we would like just worried, not uncertain. We would like a little bit of a stronger differential between, what's going on. And so if this war pops off, we get an obligation from Austria. Can we use the obligation? Sway with obligation, call an obligation up. Just kidding, they don't feel it at all. I don't know why that's -102, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, we lost some for going after, both of these in the play, which is that we lost Brazil out of the customs union. Fortunately, China's still in there, but this is always a disadvantage of going over 25, and we're going to be over 25 for some time here, and so we have to make sure to, nurse our good relations. These guys are cautious, which is also does not bode well, so maybe it wasn't even worth it. It probably wasn't worth it in retrospect, but, I mean, we're going to win this war, or it's looking really good. Even even though we're having difficulty on the front, we're able to push in through what they're doing pretty comfortably. I think a big part of this is the fact that our offensive bonus is really nice in this regard. You know, getting 25% offense instead of offense-defense split, but being on defense is probably overall going to be like more meta generally. But for Qing, maybe it's a little bit less so. What is this? Baden? All right, Baden popping off a little bit maybe. We currently are keeping some guys in reserve to defend against naval landings, but you know, I mean, if we are getting a little bit of a push off into France or into Spain, if we can enforce anyone down a little bit, then we'll be in good shape. We have one of the war goals partially here in the Rhineland or in here. Yeah, so we have one war goal partially, and we're still pushing, and so we should be dusting this up, relatively easy. But it still might not be worth it because the whole multiculturalism gig is based on really benefiting from migrants, and if we if Qing's not going to be in the market, because they're cautious towards us now, that's going to be a bit of a problem. So, yeah, we're going to bankroll Great Qing at least temporarily, up until the point where they are up at friendly, so up until 77, and this will just be a little bit faster progress than just being in a customs union, and so we're hoping that this helps out. Also, we are starting to enforce on them now with Prussia, and so it's just a matter of time before they capitulate. I don't think that they can push in through us. We enforced on Baden over here, and now we're just pushing in. There's no one else who has any sort of war goals on us, so we don't have to worry about, having to fight Russia afterwards, because they did nab Manchuria, so that is a bit of a problem. We will accrue some devastation there, which is the opposite of big nice. And so we get the enforcement down. Now we have the nice clean French borders, and all we have to do is incorporate up. I don't believe we need to take Galray. I think this is sufficient, but we do have to get everything incorporated. Also, speaking of incorporation, we've successfully incorporated this state down here, which means that we are going to swap off this iron company. Now we have gone out of our way to way overproduce iron here. We're up to 500 iron mines, and the idea behind overproducing the iron is that we knew we were going to be losing the company soon, and now we are going to be getting this company in, which is going to do quite well, and it is going to give us, rails. So now we're going to have so much throughput on rails here. So we're going to have 20% throughput on rails from here, 10% from here, and 10% from here, so we're going to have 40% throughput on rails. But on top of this, we will be getting 3+3 industrialist approval, which means we can more reliably have this really strong bonus here. We haven't ticked this yet, but this does mean that we can do law passes. We can inch towards like compulsory primary school, for example, without upsetting our Lord and Savior, the 20% bonus. So this is going to be really nice for France specifically, but this also just is a very, very strong company here. And we're also, so our productivity bonus is coming in, but also 10% infrastructure, and this doesn't affect just the railroads here. We are getting so let's find a state here. And malaria prevention, it's raining abundance. So we are getting 46 infrastructure here from our urban centers alone, and this will be positively modified, by this other thing. So there's really two sources of infrastructure here right now. We are getting a ton from the trains, but we are also getting some from our streetlights and this sort of thing as well. And it's also going to affect base infrastructure, and so this is going to be super nice. Malaria prevention's in, so, we are colonizing everything, but that's going to kick up in speed. We have no, that's not the one. There we go. Map and straight edges, etc. And so now we should be colonizing at a decent clip, and we are in here building up a level 11 rubber plant for the entire purpose of getting the Wallonian company, which we won't be able to put in right away because we don't have another company slot, but that is going to feature wood, iron, which we just ditched iron, so we're still going to have the iron, coal, and this stuff, but wood, iron, and rubber, and is also going to give loyalists and stuff. Let's just find this company really quick because we want to take a closer look at it. But this company is going to be super, super, super nice. I think it is I think it's the best in slot for wood, and it requires that we have Wallonian as primary culture, but we will get Wallonian as primary culture after finishing natural borders of France. And so this is going to give us prestige. The prosperity bonus is kind of a nothing burger. We actually would prefer not to have the prosperity bonus. I don't think the prestige is, well, the prestige is probably worth it, but this is going to give us throughput on all of these industries, and as well as construction speed, and that is going to be really valuable because they're all resource industries. And so, yeah, nice. So this here is exactly what I'm talking about. We now have 17 approval. 3 of this approval is coming from, will the tooltip tell us, is the big question. Will the tooltip tell us? No, the tooltip doesn't tell us, but 3 of this approval is... Or is it something else going on? 3 of this approval should be coming from our company now, which is giving us +3 industrialist approval, allegedly. But what we can do now is the trade unions are unhappy. We really like workforce ratio. That's a strong modifier. Now we can come in and we can go compulsory primary school, and this will upset, the industrialists, which we would lose the bonus if we went down to 9, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look if this bonus is an 8 bonus or a 9 bonus. Oh, it's an 8 bonus, so we would have kept our bonus, but now we're keeping it by a large margin, and we're able to pass some laws, and we're going to get the trade unionist approval. And so I think that, in particular for France, this company is extra nice from the industrialist approval. There's another industrialist approval thing that you can take off of Russia, but I think it's like somewhere in here that is pretty good. That's going to be coal, iron, steel, but, with the John Cockerell thing giving us steel already, and then tools, and then railway throughput, and then railway throughput here. I'm not sure if this is BIS, but this overall setup feels pretty good, especially knowing that we are going to be getting iron, wood, and rubber in just a little bit here. After we go through some industrial tech, we will be coming back for another corporation at some point here with our +4 down there. But for now, we're going to dust up quite a few production techs, I think, on our way. But for the most part, is regarding foreign affairs, we are just in chill mode, and we don't want to... We wish that this guy was not... makes us uncomfortable. We do have friendly relations, though. They are cautious, but we wish that we had a little bit better. We're obviously not going to give up, Beijing in order to get that, but we still wish it were better. This should be a pretty nice tech. With the railroads, you usually get progress on this, and so maybe this is a tech worth prioritizing a little bit more here. Steel railway cars, it is, because it also is a little bit better on the back of actually having, going from experimental trains to this. That's +5 transport per level, and then from here to here, this is going to be a lot more transportation, and instead you are going to consume steel, which I think is probably preferable to be consuming, and so this will maybe help out. We will see. We might have some growing pains if this productivity drops. It's at 12.8 right now, and let's take a tick to the Monday, and it does drop, but we're in a safe enough zone. Really, the prosperity is super cranked up on this, giving us another 10% state construction efficiency. But let's just take a look, and I think that we are going to... So I wish we had more use for our railroads. Now that, I wish that we just had a bunch of PMs we could turn on. It's very tempting to go corporate management in order to get our wood stuff and Zeppelins for the Mappy, but... Is there another tech? Maybe we want to even... Yeah, I think we should go shift work first. We have a lot of 51s already built up as we're maxing a lot of stuff out, and then we can maybe go for corporate management. Zeppelins might be even better. Elevators is also going to be a good one. So, yeah, I think we'll do this into Zeppelins, and then that'll feel pretty good. So we have just now dipped under the 25 mark, and so we're going to see if our relationship on the next couple of ticks here changes with Great Qing. And now we're cooperative again. So now we're nice and safe, having them in the customs union. And if we take a look at our pop, this huge hitch up, in addition to, so here we're moving relatively flatly, right? And then here, this hitch up, that's multiculturalism. And you see, that's like a huge crank up in terms of our overall percentage of, population in such a short period of time. And it's because it's coming all out from, these provinces out here, where this -16K, -20K, -6, all of this overall is just coming straight into our places. And if we take a look at some of our, most overpopulated populated places. Which, so if we use the population heat map, we'll see Rhone is, I think, the most populated place now. We're getting 100k pop growth, you know, just from birth rate and this sort of thing. But we are getting another 64k for migration, and so we're really growing like 170,000, you know, a year annual growth, and this is tremendous and really, really useful for us. You can see the level of Han pops that are coming in, you know, pretty soon or eventually. It's very likely that in the New World, these places will be primarily Han in some spots. You can even see that here in Jujui, which is, you know, now primarily Han, or it is not, or it's predominantly Han. Here, it's almost, Han is kind of taking over 74k. They really flood in here, you know, Han, and then like, so these places will be taken over overall by like Han pops, which can then transform into French pops once they've left their homeland states. And so this is it's really hard to emphasize just how good multiculturalism is if you are doing a sort of run where you are not just going over 100 infamy or going to 1000 infamy, like this type of thing, where you're trying to like play a little bit more of a small ball type of run. If you're just conquering everything, it becomes much less important, and you can't really get people in your customs union anyways. But the Qing and the customs union combined with multiculturalism is just absolutely insane. You know, I can't remember what our construction was at the front, at the top. I think it was around 1k. We're now 2.5k. We're pretty comfortable like with our spending amount. You know, we could raise more taxes. Actually, no, we can't. We're actually just kind of stretched to the limit, but this is fine. This is a fine level of construction. You know, we're a-okay. The spending this much down. We wish we could have gotten the petite bourgeoisie like to come on up, but this was a little bit too difficult, and yeah, but now we're safe. We made a bit of a mistake annexing the Prussian land, but now we're in Safetyville, and we are waiting for this to fully incorporate, which is going to take another 4 years. But I think we're going to conclude this episode here now. The big ones, the big things that we have done is we passed multiculturalism and we reclaimed French dirt, proper French dirt over here. And, you know, we also kind of slotted in this company here in exchange for our iron and sulfur company, which, to be fair, was a fine enough company. But this is really nice that we're getting so much infrastructure now as a result of our companies, because we're getting a full 40% throughput on all of our rails from our companies, and then this extra 10% on top. We're getting 20% rail throughput from this company, having rail as an industry. You know, we're getting 10% over here, 10% over here, and then on top of that, the 10% infrastructure, which is multiplicatively effective, because when we have 140% outputs because of our throughput on our railways, and then we get plus 10% on top of that, that's not plus 10%, it's plus 14%. So we have plus 154%. Loud dogs chapping outside. And so this has been really nice. Companies, you know, the multiculturalism, China in the market, and reclaiming some French dirt. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And other than that, have a nice car, loud car outside. Yep.